Hi everyone, look what arrived this morning. I managed to get this the other day as soon as they were released. It's the Derwent Drawing 72 colour pencil set. Now, those of you who know the Derwent Drawing Pencils, and perhaps you know of my channel, you will know that I loved the initial 24 colour set. I've featured them in videos numerous times. So many of you have written to me to tell me that you bought these pencils on my recommendation because they are probably my favourite pencils ever. And so when I found out the other week that they were going to be releasing not just a few more colours but 48 extra colours, then I knew that I was going to have to try them as soon as possible. I was very fortunate. At first I didn't think that I was going to be able to afford to buy the entire set, but I managed to find a 30% discount code. Actually, if you look at the different YouTubers who have swatched these, if they're a Derwent ambassador, they'll have a discount code. So yeah, use the discount code if you're buying straight from the Derwent website. It actually helped to save me quite a bit of money on these. And I think without further ado, we should just open them up, have a look at them, and then I'm going to swatch them. So let's just, ooh, this is a really sturdy tin. So let's just lift the lid off. So if you want to see, that's actually what's inside. So it tells you a little bit about Derwent. So I'm going to pop that over there, just out of the way, so that we can have a look at the pencils. So if I lift these out, I'm hoping if I lay them like that, no, maybe if I lay them like that, can you see? Let me check. No, you can't really, can you? Well, you can see the tops of those ones and the bottom of the others, but there we go. You can see along there the gorgeous colours. So we now have 72 colours. This seems like a dream. I've been wanting more colours in this range for years, and I thought maybe they'll eventually do it. Maybe they'll, I don't know, add an extra 10 or something like that. But they've tripled the range, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do, let me just pop that on there for a second because I've got my papers over here. So I've got grey toned paper and white paper. This is the Stonehenge paper. So this is really good for coloured pencil apparently. And this one is, I want to say like a Strathmore paper, I think. So I thought it'd be interesting to see how they look on both types of paper, because there are some really light colours, which I think are not going to show up that much on there, but we'll be able to see them much better on here. So I'm just going to do swatches on both papers as we go along. Okay, let's get to it. I can't wait. So I think what I'll do is I'll swatch a whole bunch of them and then I'll label them afterwards so that we can just kind of not whiz through the swatching, but there are 72 colours, so let's try and do it in a timely manner. So I'm going to tell you whether the colours were in the initial 24 colour set or whether they're new ones. I'm going to kind of give you my opinion on the colours as we go along, and then I think at the end I'm going to make a Natasha Newton palette of maybe, should we say 20 of my favourite colours? Maybe. Okay. We'll see, it might be 30. Okay, I'm going to swatch this one. This is Champagne. This is a new colour. So I'm going to swatch this one on the toned paper. So this is a lovely neutral. I think I'm just going to swatch like this. I'm not doing anything fancy. So it's quite nice to see them actually next to each other like that. I love how different things look on toned paper. Okay, so that's a good neutral. I like that. It reminds me a little bit of the wheat that they had in the first set of 24. This one's called Sunflower. This is a lovely name. Oh, that shows up really nicely on the grey paper. Oh, I love this. You see, I'm not the world's biggest yellow fan, but that is a gorgeous natural looking yellow. The reason I love these pencils so much is because they're really natural, nature inspired colours. A lot of them are very muted They just kind of suit my way of working and my preferred colour palette. Okay, so we're going to do mustard next. So all of these are new colours. None of these were in the first set. It's another beautiful yellow. That one's a little bit more, I would say, like a yellow ochre. Be interesting to see their yellow ochre against these actually, but I'm going to swatch them in order. In the order they were in when they came to me. By the way, this was covered in cellophane and I took that off earlier because I couldn't wait to open them up and just have a look as soon as they arrived. Right, this is called Gold. So is this metallic or is this just... I'm going to have a look at it actually at an angle just to see. I don't think, sorry, I've taken it away just to look at it against the light. No, it isn't metallic. It's just a really lovely gold yellow. So far, they're all the new ones. Apricot, this is another new colour. I tell you what, I thought about this grey tone paper again the other day. I haven't used it for ages and I just thought it'd be perfect to swatch these against. That is a lovely colour. I'm not sure I would call that apricot. It's a lovely autumnal colour. It's definitely one I would use a lot. Okay, this one is Autumn Leaf. So another new colour. Oh, that shows up beautifully on the grey, doesn't it? Yeah, I love that colour. Looks really nice with these as well. Nice name as well, Autumn Leaf. Okay, so this is Rust. So the original set actually had lots of kind of earthy, rusty colours in, and this one has really added to those actually, which is nice. Okay, so that's Rust. That's actually quite red. It's a lovely natural red. There's one called Strawberry here. Okay, let's swatch Strawberry. I just love how all of these are such natural looking colours. They're kind of a little bit muted, which is what I initially loved this range of pencils for, was the fact that they didn't really have any super bright colours. It'd be interesting to see whether we have some brighter ones in here. I think we probably do, but so far I would say all of those are kind of muted, very natural colours, and I am loving them so far. So this one, that is the next one, is it? Oh no, I've missed one. Autumn Red is the next one. So let's try that. This looks slightly more, I was going to say slightly more pink on the grey tone paper, but yeah, it's a lovely, it's like a burgundy kind of colour. Beautiful. And this one is Rioja. Is that how you say that? And this is a lovely rich wine colour. Love that. They have some beautiful reds in this collection. Actually, I want to just say before we carry on that I bought these at just gone 6 in the morning on the 1st of October. I'd stayed up until after midnight because I thought they might update the website. I knew they were being launched on the 1st of October. And so I stayed up until, I think it was about midnight. They didn't update the website, so I had to go to sleep. And I woke up early at 6 o'clock. They'd updated the website, so I pounced and I got this. And then later in the day, they were sold out. So I'm really glad that I managed to get a set early on. And I'm so thankful that I could buy the whole set. I feel really lucky. Okay, so this one is Light Sienna. This is one of my favourites from the original collection of 24. Always loved this colour. I think I'm going to like the next few as well. So this is called Light Rust. This is a new colour. That's gorgeous. I'm just loving all of these. I'm going to tell you honestly if I come across some that maybe I'm not as keen on, but so far I'm loving them. Okay, Dusky Pink is next. That's a beautiful, natural, almost like vintage kind of pink. I hope that this is helpful for you to see them swatched on different papers. It's actually quite interesting for me to do it like this. Okay, this one I think is called Bista. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember how to pronounce that. I actually did look it up earlier, but I've forgotten. But that is a lovely sort of brownish pink, really, isn't it? That's quite a vintage colour as well, I would say. I do love when there's a more muted vintage kind of pink. Okay, next one, Ash Rose. So I'd say this one is a little less like the kind of colours that I would tend to use, but it's a lovely, quite muted, sort of, I don't know, I was going to say wisteria colour, but maybe not. Slightly more violet-y rose colour. Okay, Burnt Rose, that sounds interesting. That is a lovely colour. These feel amazing to use, by the way. The formulation is, as you would expect from a Derwent drawing pencil, really smooth, very creamy. They have a super thick core as well. This is another thing that makes these pencils special, so that you can get a lot of, you can cover a lot of area really quickly. They have such a lovely texture. So this one's called Grape. So I think all of these, I don't think I was saying, was I? All of these up to the Light Sienna. So the Light Sienna was the last one of the original set. So Light Rust, Dusky Pink, Bistra, or however you say it. I've probably said it differently again. Ash Rose, Burnt Rose, and Grape. These are all new ones. I have to say I'm not the biggest purple person, but I'm loving Grape. Next one, Soft Violet. That's a really pretty colour. So I would say that when I'm drawing or painting, I don't very often use, I would say purples, violets, maybe a dusky violet I would use, but generally purples, violets, pinks. I'm not hugely into those. I will occasionally use them, but not very often. And when I was looking at these earlier, I was thinking this section here that I'm now swatching, I'm thinking I'm probably not going to use those all that often. And then Dominic said to me, Dominic's my partner, for those of you who don't know, we were talking about this set, and he told me to not discount them and don't say that I'm not going to use them, maybe kind of even challenge myself to use them. So for example, if I'm drawing a tree trunk, instead of making it just different shades of brown, really when you look at something in reality, you can see that there are all sorts of different colours in there. And I think some of these purples, he was saying, could look amazing, kind of blended into the tree trunk. And you might want to use purples maybe for shadows or something like that. So I think I'm going to keep an open mind. So it's quite interesting for me to actually have a whole set of pencils, because I wouldn't normally buy a set. I normally buy my pencils individually because I work with quite a specific kind of colour palette. And the Derwent Drawing Pencils, the initial set of 24, were the only full set of pencils from a range that I actually had. So it's really unusual for me to have so many pencils from one range that come in a set that I haven't chosen individually. And so I think I'm going to keep an open mind with these colours, and I'm going to see how I can incorporate them into my work. which I think is a really good challenge. So this one is Heather. So just swatch Heather up there too. You see, this is very much not my kind of colour, but I think it could work really well. So I was thinking when I was planning this video that I would do the swatching, then choose my favourites, then do some drawing with these pencils. But actually it's going to be, I think, a little bit too long if I do the drawing as part of this video. So we're going to concentrate entirely on the swatching in this video. So this one's Violet Dusk. So that's much more of a bluish, cool toned kind of violet. So I think what I'll do is I'll tell you when I come across a pencil that's in the initial set of 24, rather than telling you every time. So just assume they're new, unless I say otherwise. So this one's Slate Violet. That's a really lovely colour, even though not typically my kind of colour. Delft Blue is the next one. Oh, that's nice. Really dark, rich blue. I'm just going to have to move that, I think, because I feel like I'm going to start smudging things. Royal Blue. Oh, wow. Yeah, these blues are pretty. Teal Blue. This isn't what I think of as teal blue, I have to say. Teal blue to me is much darker and is kind of like a greenish blue. This looks like, this reminds me of the deep, deep light watercolour called Flax. This is a really pretty colour. It's a strange name for it, but it's a lovely colour. Because yeah, that's definitely not teal blue. I don't know why they called that teal blue, but I love it all the same. Polar Ice is the next one. We have a really good range of blues in this. And the next one has a great name. This is Deep Atlantic. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, that's my kind of blue. Very moody, kind of muted. Nice. Solway Blue. We've come to one of the ones in the initial set of 24. It's a very greyish blue, it's quite pale. Love it, it's one of my favourites actually from that set. So these aren't the most perfect swatches you're ever going to see, but I'm hoping, I've got good lighting and I'm hoping that they're going to be accurate for you, which is the main thing. So this one is Ink Blue. And I've always loved this. This is one from the initial set of 24. A lovely, I would say, kind of warm blue. It's like, always looks slightly greenish to me, like a greenish blue. And then we have another one. Oh, actually I'm missing one. Whoops. Don't move on too quickly, Natasha. Okay, Ash Blue. This is a new one. Oh gosh, that's really nice. Yeah, I'm loving that one. It'd be interesting to pick my favourite, maybe 20, 24, 30. Loving Ash Blue. That's a really nice addition. Okay, Smoke Blue. This was from the first set. So this is kind of similar to Ash Blue, but it's, I would say, a little more green maybe. Very slightly darker. Kind of feels like two tones of the same colour, which is nice. Okay, fir green. One thing we needed was some slightly different greens in this range. That is nice. That's really muted. And even though it's green, it's kind of like a bluish green. It's very interesting to see how they look on the two different papers, isn't it? I like how the lighter colours really stand out against this grey paper. Okay, spruce green is next. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit. That's beautiful. I feel like this is kind of like a darker version of, what was it, fir green? Kind of similar. All of these look lovely together. Yeah, really nice. Okay, we're nearly at the end of this top layer. So I think I'll label them. I'll take a little break and I'll label them, and then I'll come back and do the bottom layer. So this is distant green. That's kind of a little bit brighter. But it's still got enough of that sort of, I don't know, slightly muted quality that these pencils have and that I really love. It doesn't look, it's kind of minty, but it doesn't look too bright. It's kind of got a slight little bit of dirtiness about it, which I really like. So this is Pale Cedar. So this one was in the first set. I've always loved their greens. Oh gosh, it hardly shows up on here. It's quite a greyish green, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, that really doesn't show up. That's funny. Green Shadow. Another colour I love. So this is from their first set of 24. Oh, that one does show up a bit better, doesn't it? Green Shadow looks really nice with these ones. And Crag Green. This is quite a nice muted, slightly more yellowish green, I would say. Almost slightly brown. Okay, so that's the top layer. And that's how they all look. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to write the names and then I'll come back and do the second layer, and it will be a matter of like a second or two. So I've labelled all of the swatches so far, and I actually ended up editing the first part of this video because I wanted to see how long it was going on for. And I think what I'm going to do, because I'd like to really sit with these swatches for a while, I'm going to put this video up, let you see all of the swatches, and then I'm going to make a second video where I pick my absolute favourites from this collection. So for those of you who really like to know my preferences, and you'd perhaps like a little colour palette that I can put together for you and for myself, I'm going to do that. And I think I'm going to film a second video because I actually kind of feel it needs a little bit of time. I need to sit with the colours and think what's going to really work well together. So we're just going to continue for this video, and we're going to swatch the remaining colours. So I've got another 36 to swatch, is that right? Yeah. So we're going to start with Fresh Green. So this is a colour that certainly wasn't in the first collection. And greens like this were actually kind of missing a little bit because the greens we had were these three. So Crag Green, Green Shadow, Pale Cedar. And there's also an Olive Earth, I think it's called. So that was kind of the fourth green in the initial set. So yeah, it's really good to have these like darker fir greens, something a bit brighter here. And we're moving on to some more greens that are really nice natural greens, but they were missing from that set because all of these are very muted. You can see that. So yeah, it's really good. Oh, I almost missed out on swatching on this paper. Let's see how this stands out on the grey. It looks quite nice. Lovely. Okay, so that was fresh green. So we're going to do moss green next. And that's lovely natural green again. So I would say that the fresh green is very good for like spring landscapes. And this one's a good all-rounder. I like that one a lot. I think that's probably going to become a favourite. So we have light moss as well. That's lovely. So that kind of reminds me a little bit of the distant green, but it's slightly more yellowish, slightly more warm. Yeah, I'm impressed with these greens. Really, really liking those. Okay, green earth is the next one. So let's have a look at how this looks. I think that's a little bit more kind of similar to the ones that were in the set before. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's actually very similar to crag green. Sort of like a cross between pale cedar and crag green. I always love these types of greens. Okay, the next one is rainforest. Let's see what rainforest looks like. Nice. That's oh, that is lovely. It's lovely on the white paper. Do you know, this is reminding me a little bit of, I think it's the Luminance Dark Sap Green, I think it's called. It's quite a piney green. We're definitely missing that colour from the first set, so I'm glad they've added something like that. Oh, can't get it. This is called Sage Leaf. Love the name of this one already, and I know that I'm going to love this colour. I think my swatches are going a bit wonky on here. They've gone up there and down there. Yeah, Sage Leaf is gorgeous. Oh gosh, can you hear that? I don't know whether it's going to pick that up, but it's getting really stormy outside. We're meant to have quite a big storm tonight, I think. Let's try and film this and finish this before the power goes off, shall we? Okay, this is Olive Earth. So those ones were all new ones, and this one was in the initial set of 24. And I always loved Olive Earth. Look at that beautiful colour, lovely and dark. Really nice. So next up, Warm Earth. Now Warm Earth was in the initial set of 24. So it's a lovely brown. God, don't those greens look lovely? This row I'm loving. And I like the sound of this one, Woodland. Got good names, haven't they? Oh, that's a beautiful brown. Lovely, rich, dark brown. Now, the brown they had that was a really rich, dark brown in the other one was called Chocolate. So it'll be interesting to see how these differ. Right, dark brown is the next one. Yeah, that is darker, isn't it? Nice. I like this range of browns. Brown ochre. Now, I think this one was in the first set. That's quite a yellowish brown. Goes nicely with those others, doesn't it? Nice set of browns there. Right, wheat is one of the ones from the first set. So I said to you, I think this is a little bit like champagne, or champagne was a little bit like wheat. And on here, certainly they look quite similar. So let's have a look on here. Oh, you can see a difference actually. So I'd say this one is much more of a sandy kind of colour. That's slightly more creamy yellowish, and that's a little bit dirtier. It's nice to have both of those actually. They are significantly different enough to for you to want to have both of them, I think. Okay, this one's light ochre. This is a new colour. Every time I swatch these pencils, I'm like completely in love with them. I love the feeling of them. Oh, that is nice. I am loving how these look with the greens. Okay, light ochre, yellow ochre. Now this one was in the set of 24. Oh. Yeah, that's nice. I've always liked this yellow. You can see it's a bit more earthy, more of an earthy toned yellow than these ones at the top. So that's a nice one to have. Right, sepia, red in brackets. This was one from the first set. Not really leaving much room to write the names there, am I? I wonder whether we're coming up to a section that was part of the first set. Yeah, we are. So this is Mars Orange. So this was in the first set as well. This is a really nice natural orange. Look at that. Gorgeous. Will work really well with those lovely autumn colours up there. Yeah, always love a Mars Orange. Sanguine is the next one, and this was in the first set as well. So I told you the first set had a lot of rusts and oranges. Look how rich that colour is. Gorgeous. Can you sense my urgency now? I'm going a bit faster because I can hear the storm outside and I'm worried the power's going to go off. Okay, Venetian red. This was also in the first set. Lovely rich reddish brown, that one. Let me know in the comment section below if you can hear the storm raging outside. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up. Okay, terracotta. This was also in the first set. Aren't they beautiful? Oh gosh, I haven't left much space there, have I? I'm not thinking this through. I'm getting too excited. Okay, Mars Violet, this was another one in the first set. Beautiful violet-y grey, sort of a muted violet. Nice addition to those ones there as well. Ruby Earth, yep, this was another one that was in the first set. This is more of a reddish brown colour, slightly violet-y. Interesting colour actually. Ah, here's the chocolate. Now this was the dark brown in the first set. And you can see it's almost like a brown black really. really super dark. So it's nice that we have these lighter browns now. Even though they're still dark browns, they're a lot lighter than that one. So yeah, that's nice. I'm glad that we have additional browns here now to go with chocolate. And ivory black, this was another one in the first set. And I've always liked this black. It's lovely and opaque. And now the door is starting to open. I don't think it's ghosts, I think it's just the wind. Let's hope anyway. Do you know there's a video on my channel from, I think about 4 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, and I filmed it on Halloween, I believe, and we had some weird occurrences. Or was it around Halloween? I can't remember whether it's actually Halloween or around that time, but we kept hearing noises in the background, which was interesting. Never did find out what they were. This one is Midnight, so this is a new colour for this set. So I would say that this is a very, very dark bluish black. That's actually really a nice addition to that other black. I like Midnight. Good name too. Forest is the next one. So is Forest like a brownish black? Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? It's like a very slight hint of green in there, I think. I like that one too. Now we're moving on to the greys. So this is Mist, another new colour. That's a nice sort of mid-toned grey, quite cool-toned as well, I would say. Platinum is the next one. Oh, this is lovely. This looks nice on the grey-toned paper. Oh, that's lovely. That's a real cool-toned grey, that one. Carbon grey is the next one. I like how we've got a lot of greys. I love grey. Oh, that's lovely. That has a really nice texture too. I mean, they all do really. They're quite consistent actually throughout the different colours. So warm grey. Now this was in the first set, this one. And that's really not going to show up on this paper because this is a very warm toned grey, this paper. So there we go, you can see it a bit better there, can't you? In fact, a lot better, you can actually see it. So that's a real brownish grey. And then cool grey, this was in the first set as well. So that's not actually dissimilar to these other greys up here, but it's a little bit, even though it's cool grey, it's a little bit warmer, a little bit dirtier than those two. So those two were, was it Mist and Platinum, I think? Is that right? Yeah, and that one was Carbon grey. So a nice range of greys. Okay, next one is Granite. Oh, I love this. Look how that's standing out on that paper. Oh, that's lovely. Quite a dark grey, isn't it? Lovely. Now taupe. I have a feeling I'm going to love taupe. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit, it's like a little bit Mars Violet-y, but with more brown, a bit dirtier. Yeah, loving that. Okay. I think that might be in my my favourites that I'm going to put together for you. I say for you, for me as well, actually. not just for you. Hopefully you'll find it useful though. If you're wanting to put together a smaller set, because you can buy the pencils individually. And I'm just going to actually give you a little heads up here. When I was on the Derwent site the other day, I noticed that they do a build your own tin section. So you can have a tin of 6, I think it was 6, 12 or 24 pencils. And the more pencils you buy, the greater the discount. And you can put together a tin. So they give you a tin, which is just like this, it's not like a painted, kind of printed tin like this one. It's like just a plain metal tin, really quite nice. And you can put pencils from all of the different ranges in your tin. So you can choose the colours that most appeal to you across different ranges. I mean, you could choose to put all of the Derwent Drawing Pencils in one tin if you wanted. So you could just choose your own collection of 24 or whatever. But I love the fact that you can mix the ranges that they do, because I love their light fast range as well. And I think they do Colour Soft. That's another Derwent range, isn't it? There are all sorts of different ranges. I think they also do watercolour pencils, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not telling lies here inadvertently, but they do several different ranges, and you can mix and match when you put together your tin. So I don't know whether that's of any use to any of you, but I really like the idea of that. Okay, this is Fossil Grey. I think I have this colour in the Light Fast range. Oh, look at that, that's nice. Very nice. I think that one was the Mars Violet, right? So they all kind of like really work together. Love that. That's a really nice one. Okay, so now we have the really pale one. So this is Arctic, and I don't know how well that's going to show up on here, but it's a really pale sort of icy blue. Oh, it does show up. I love that. I love that colour. So it's going to show up really well on here. Look at that. We're down to the last two. We're nearly there. Let me know at this point if you're still here, if you're still with me. Let me know that I'm swatching Oyster at this moment, and then I'll know that you made it this far. Okay, right, so Oyster is a very pinkish white. So these are great if you want to do highlights and you just want like a hint of colour. Very pretty. And finally, the legendary Chinese white. I say legendary because this is the best. Oh, sorry, that's a little bit of, it's got a bit of pigment from somewhere else on there. You're not going to see it on that paper, but you will see it on this paper. I'm so glad that I decided to use the grey tone paper as well. There you go. This is one of the most opaque white coloured pencils I have ever come across. So if you're looking for a white with really good coverage, really opaque, really creamy, get yourself a Derwent Drawing Chinese white, because it is the best. And believe me, I have tried, I wouldn't say maybe all, but a lot of them. Okay, I'm going to label these and then I'll come back quickly and we'll have a closer look at these swatch pages, swatch charts, and then I will say goodbye. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. So here they all are labelled, and hopefully you're getting quite a clear view of all of the colours. What I'm going to do at some point, fairly soon I think, is swatch all of these really nicely, because obviously these were quite quick swatches. So I'd like to swatch them all really nicely, all labelled, and do a high-res download for my Patreon. So I think I will put that on Patreon and everyone can access it. I'll make it available to all members, whether they're free or paid. So all you'll need to do is just sign up. You don't have to join a paid tier, you can just sign up for free. And I won't do that obviously when this video goes up. It will be over the next week or two. So I'll make sure there's a really nice swatch chart available for you on there, and I'll get the colours as accurate as I possibly can. I've tried to light this video really well so that you can see the colours really as they are in reality. So I hope that that helps you when you're making a decision if you want to just buy maybe some of these colours. I think it's really interesting to see them on the toned paper as well as the white paper, because they really do look quite different, certain colours more than others. And it really makes me want to use this paper again. This is actually a page from a sketchbook. This is a Strathmore grey toned sketchbook, but I got this sketchbook back in the day when if I did something wrong in a sketchbook, I would just lose interest in working in it. I'm not like that anymore. I actually do continue working in sketchbooks even if I'm not happy with that particular page. But I remember there were some pages that I really loved, and so I cut them out and I actually sold the pieces that I had drawn in the sketchbook. And so I have this sketchbook with some torn out pages, some pages I don't like, but a lot of pages that I haven't even used. So I'm going to take the paper out of the sketchbook. I'm going to just use it as like sheets of drawing paper. So the pencils work really well on that paper, and they also work really well on this. This is the Stonehenge white paper, but Stonehenge paper is really nice for coloured pencil as well. Okay, I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel already, then I hope that you'll consider subscribing. I think there's a thing called hype now. I mentioned this last time. If it comes up for you underneath the video, please just hype this video. I'm not entirely sure what it does. I don't think everyone has access to this at the moment, but if you see it, just, I don't know, press the button, give me some, I think they're called hype points or something. I don't know. Anyway, if you could do all of that, that would be fantastic, because I mean, this video can reach more people. But yeah, thank you for watching. And if you've made it to the end, let me know in the comments below. Do you have any favourite colours from this collection? If so, tell me, I don't know, maybe your top 3. That'd be interesting. And I'll come back soon with another video where I share my little condensed palette. How condensed it will be, we don't know. How much restraint I will have in putting it together, we don't know. But I will tell you which ones are my favourites, which ones I would put together if you want to make a small palette of, say, maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 colours, something like that. Anyway, I'll say goodbye for now, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.